here again in a very different setup today. Remember, today is June 16, but it's in 2020. I just want to take you back to June 16, 1976. That is about many years ago when we saw the young people in Soweto rising up against being taught in Afrikaans in their schools. It was a different scenario, it was a different generation, it was a different time. But all the way, they've left an indelible mark, historical mark. They've brought something different in our country. Today we're celebrating. Unfortunately, as you know at home, we are celebrating during the time of COVID-19, which is a very shameful situation. But today, I've brought with me here at ECC two young members of this church, part of the youth. They are in the leadership of the church. They are the pastors of the church. And we are going to talk about sensitive issues and sensitive matters in 2020. I want to answer a question today. They have to answer a question. Is the young people in 2020, are they still relevant? Are they still relevant to the call that was made in 1976? Are they still relevant in the call of 2020? We just want to hear them. In 20 years' time, we want to remember them. What are we going to remember them with? With me today is Pastor Fitzgerald.
Which is Sika Home Affairs.
Letu Mashabane. Letu Mashabane is one of the pastors who have grown up in this church. From the time of inception in 2005, he was one of the youngest members. In this church, he is part of a campaign of raising a Joshua generation, a new generation. He is not only a pastor, but at the same time, he also ministers to the young people. A lot of them, they know him as Uncle Leto. He has been with the church, as I'm saying, from inception. He has groomed a lot of young people. Today, some of them are in the universities and some of them are already working. I want Pastor Leto to take us through also, introduce himself and tell us who he is, what does he think his role is in this generation, in this church. I think we are going to start there and then we'll follow up. Pastor Leto, good evening.
Good evening, Bishop. It is an honor to be invited at home.
To be hosted at home.
To be hosted, yes. It is an honor once again. Greeting all our YouTube friends, our Facebookers, ECC friends as well, and my friends at home. Baba, mhlasimbe, let's go back at beginning ukuthi being 32 years of age, being born in 1988, being told about the history of our country in 1976. Ngizalwa 12 years after.
Yes.
So uma ngizalwa ngiyatshela ukuthi this is what was happening before. So uma ngitshelwa lokho njalo noma ngisibuka ku TV noma njalo ilokhu ivuka le topic of where we come from, kumina ngisabingelela kungishiya nenselelo ukuthi engikwenzayo noma engifisa ukuqala ingabe kuzoqhubeka yini nomzabalazo ka1976, ingabe kuzonikeza yini inselelo kulaba ababuka mina babona ukuthi ingabe ikhona into engiqhubekela kuyona kulaba abaqala ngo1976, ngoba iqiniso elingenakuphikwa ukuthi ngale ka1976 thina sinikezwa ibaton yokuthi from the race that has been ran before, thina fasiyithathe making sure ukuthi uma sinikeza the next generation kumele ibambe understanding ukuthi it was not easy, it is still not easy, ukuze beqhubeka beqonda ukuthi umzabalazo uyaqhubeka. Aluta continue.
Now, thank you very much, Pastor Leto. I just want us to look at the issue of the young people and church.
Yes.
In this generation that we are in. I see that most of the young people, probably they are losing interest in church.
Yes.
I'm generalizing the statement,
Yes.
because our church has got more young people.
Yes.
But in some cases outside there, we see young people not interested in church in 2020. What would you say about that, and how would you sort of encourage the young people to be focused? Does the church help? You know, is there a difference with a young person who's out there and a young person who is in church in 2020? Does it help? Can you take us through that?
Yeah, maybe I have to be realistic in a way that the world out there looks so enjoyable. The activities that are done outside of the church, they are so interesting. Even in varsities, whenever they are opening of varsities, we see Amabash being done. So you want this, you know, you just want to foretaste such fun, you know. Even wherever, even in the locations, there are clubs there and there are shisanyamas, kuyabhengwa on Fridays.
Yes.
Even in the CPDs, we have lot of nightclubs. So abantu abasha bayibuka lempilo, it's interesting muyibuka, I must say. It is interesting. Now, looking at that life, usubheka manje that, you know, the current status quo in the church.
Yeah.
Yokuthi abantu abasha naba siyababona ebandleni ingabe bayakuthanda ukuba sesontweni.
Yes.
I think mengikhuluma iqiniso noma bekuthanda ukuba sesontweni ama programs are not friendly.
Okay.
They are not friendly. Kodwa masibheka ibandla la ngo1976 kwakuyibandla nje siyakhumbula ngaleza insuku kwakusama amabandla, you know, the mainline churches.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
the mainline churches. Uma sikhuluma ngamabandla akhuluma ngensimbi, so
Charismatic, yeah.
there were few.
Yeah.
But uma sibheka manje, in as much as ekhona amabandla, you know, anama activities, I think sisalele kakhulu emuva ngoba sicabanga ukuthi uma siyibheka thina uma abantu abadala beyibuka babuka isibuko through abantu abasha ukuthi nabo fa behamba ngendlela abahambe ngakhona kanti ikhathi ziyashintsha.
Now, help me in this one.
Yes.
I sit here as a pastor. We started this church in 2005.
Yes.
It's 15 years after.
Yes.
You know, I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah.
I'm getting older.
Yeah, we are about to take over.
Yeah. And now, what I wanted to ask is, do you see the young generation prepared enough to take over? Because I think in few years' time, I must hand over the baton to the younger people, to your generation,
Oh, yes.
and I must watch you growing in front of me. Because again, that is the part that we have missed with our fathers.
Yes.
You know, they hoarded into the gospel until somebody is 70, 80, 90, and then when they die, then the church begin to fight who's going to be taking over because we have not raised sons.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say now, we are looking at the 2020 generation. Is that 2020 generation getting ready enough now in church? As much as it is outside there in politics, we see young people taking over in parliament. What about the church? What must we do in church to allow the space for young people to be able to take over and take the leadership?
Yeah, maybe if I can tell you the honest truth, in as much as the youth of 2020 is ready, but the readiness is not ready enough, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
Ukulunga kwabo akulungele, akakalungi ngokwanele.
Yeah.
Because our generation is full of energy, but they don't want to be led.
Okay.
They
All
do want to take the leadership role, but in another way that is so disappointing is that they don't want to be led. They want to take big position. They want to occupy their space, but inkinga abafuni ukuholwa. Uyabona nje angazi ngingabachaza njengomunye obahole sasinabo kwenye inhlangano esimbona manje viral edlubulundela. In as much as efuna ukuhola kodwa uyabona ukuthi waholwa kodwa wafuna ukuphutshuka kusaeli. Uyabona ukuthi noma efuna ukukhuluma noma into yakhe ekhuluma in a sense kodwa uyayibona ukuthi bikade ingabekwa ngendlela right kuthiwa wayinikeza ithola ukuthi alidwe ngokwanele ukuze mededelwa adedelwe kuqondakala ukuthi into angase ayenze ingakwazi ukuba constructive.
You see, Pastor Leto, it takes me to the next point that says, we as a church, we must begin to train our young people
Oh, yes.
how to lead
Yes.
and how to be leaders. Because in the sense, when we are talking about 1976,
Yes.
the young people mobilized themselves. Unfortunately, they led themselves.
Yes.
And that is why today, when you speak about Tsietsi Mashinini, who was leading
yes.
the struggle in 1976.
Yeah.
You don't get him. In fact, his family has not been able to find out what ukuphi njengamanje.
Yeah.
Last time they saw him going to Nigeria and then he disappeared into the thin air. Whereas you understand ukuthi kube, there was a certain element of leadership that is framed at that time.
Yeah.
Ngabe siyakwazi ukuba trace abantu. I think we have a challenge in church. We need to be able to mentor our young people instead of just standing and preaching the gospel. We need to run maybe the leadership schools,
Yeah.
so that we teach our young people to be able to lead, to prepare them for the position to lead.
Yes.
But Pastor Letu, speaking about yourself, you have been, I'm putting you in the spotlight. You have been in this church
Yes.
for the past 15 years.
Yes.
And what has made you remain when other young people like yourself
Yeah.
look at themselves and say, I have energy now, I
Yes.
can be able to go, and start my own work.
Yeah.
What has kept you anchored up to this far?
I think it goes beyond my personal vision that I have about my life, because each and everyone has a vision ukuthi ufuna uzibona la in this period of time. But personally, abanye abantu bangathi bebengibona bathi ngikhulile. But personally, ngiyazazi ngikhulile kodwa angikhulile ngokwanele ukuthi ngikwazi ukuzimela kwamanje. Okwamanje, in as much as ngikhulile, ngisakufisa ukulidwa ukuze ngikwazi ukugrumeka, ngikwazi ukumentorisheka, ngikwazi ukuthi ngibe matured enough, in as much as umuntu engase ngithi manje ngiyaphuma and start whatsoever that will be called on my behalf. Kodwa ngingakwenza lokho kodwa ngiqonda ukuthi ingaphakathi lami nonembeza lami ngeke lize lingahlulele kahle ukuthi ngenze kahle. Why ngisho njalo? Ukuthi uma sibuka isociety yethu, abantu abasha banamawala.
Yeah. Yeah.
Banamawala, ispeed abahamba ngaso 440.
Yeah, yeah.
Bama Ferrari.
Yeah.
Ingakho ngize ngithi ibandla akuyona into ongavuka ekseni ucabanga ukuthi hayi ngoba
It's time to-
ngine energy ngoba ngingime la ngikwazi ukucula, ngikwazi ukukhuluma belalela abantu. It's not about being listened by the people ulalelwa ngabantu kuthiwa it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Ngoba uma ufuna ukuqala umsebenzi kaNkuluNkulu ebuncaneni kangaka, you are about to impact impilo zabantu ngayo yonke indlela, by all spheres of life. Yingakho kumele uma uzokwenza lokho ukhule ngayo yonke indlela, mentally and psychologically. Lento ingene emqondweni wakho ukuthi you are about to be a father to someone. Ingabe ngoba ngimncane ngimngaka ngiready ukuba ubaba.
Okay.
Ngoba njengamanje I am a son. But now the role of being a father, that is to lead.
Yeah.
Am I ready to take that role? I can be a father to umntwana ongazalwa, but am I ready to lead
Father
someone
many and to be a leader
spiritually?
Because I once spoke to one of my sons who was here.
Yeah.
And he says to me, Baba, I thought it was easy to be a pastor. But now to be standing in the pulpit every Sunday
Yeah.
and deliver the message
Enye
from
indaba.
God, not just talking messages that I've heard from people,
Yeah.
and spend time with God so that I can hear the direction from God. He says, that's another chapter. He
I
says,
can imagine.
He says, when I go to the pulpit, sometimes I wish it was not me. I wish it was somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's not just that they drop out. The university life frustrates
yes,
them
yes,
because their hands are already there in business, but you
yes,
find that you are being delayed here. And they are making very well out there in the field. And, it's very interesting that you have mentioned that point.
Yes.
But one of the very important aspects, he as a young person, he wants to go into business. What would be your advice for a young person who wants to go into business? Some of them, they
Yes,
think
yes,
business, it's a microwave thing. You
Hey.
go in today, tomorrow,
No,
you're a millionaire. Just take us through
Yeah, yeah.
that.
No, basically, if I had to talk more of varsity dropouts and being hands-on on two different things, Baba ngicathi inkinga enkulu iqala when you enter into business, fanele uqale umqondo wakho, fanele wazi ukuthi you are going to get a lot of disappointments. Like for me, for instance, I've been in business for over 15 years or so. So while in Safunda school, I realized, you know what, njengoba ngifunda ngala, and then I started off kancane selling izinto kancane esikoleni. Then I decided, you know what, I started working, and then I went to work, ngafuna umsebenzi, ngasebenza, and then after some time ngisasebenza as well, and then I started selling things. And then from ukudayisa izinto, and then I opened up my business for 2008. And then from 2008, it's been rough, man.
Yeah.
It's been rough. Business is not easy. So for young people, my advice would be, fanele wazi once uthatha isinqumo, wazi ukuthi it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but you have to be persistent. As long as you have a vision, I think a vision is important because you cannot start anything ungenayo vision. You have to have a vision. Most of the vision, usukwazi ukuyibona ukuthi you know what, I want to get there. Njengoba usho nje baba ukuthi I think of myself as a millionaire. Baba.
Yes.
I'm not striving to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I am already a millionaire,
Yeah.
and I'm declaring that which I am already a millionaire.
Yes.
While konke ngikwenzayo, so already a vision yami ingibona ngiyimillionaire.
Yes.
So now emqondweni wami konke ngikwenzayo, I'm a millionaire.
You see,
know?
you are reminding me that when you have a vision will always call you.
Yes.
And many
Yes,
people
yes,
think
yes,
that you
yes,
will
yes.
go to the vision.
Yes.
But your vision will call you.
Yes,
And
yes,
then you have to glide through.
Yes.
And you must understand that sometimes when your vision calls you, it's on top of the mountain.
Yes.
And for you
Yes,
to
it-
reach there, you have to climb.
Yes,
And when you climb, you must understand the weather conditions that you are
Yes,
going
yes,
to go
yes,
through. That
yes,
it's not
yes.
going to be summer all the time.
Yes,
The winter
yes,
will
yes,
come, rains will come. But what is more important, your vision is calling you.
Yes, yes.
But I want us to shift a little bit and look at our present government in 2020. Do you think the government is doing enough to support young people who are in business?
When it comes to government, it's a different issue because, well, my own perspective, I feel like, as Pastor was talking about young people not being ready, I feel young people are ready. It's just that the government is not giving them enough opportunities. I feel like the youth of 1976, they ignited a revival. It was a spark that they ignited for our generation.